Now, I'm not going to consult with y'all on here because that's going to cost you. Amen.
Talking about it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, you got to spend money to make money, you know, and that's pretty common knowledge. You know, a lot of people are beating the bricks, you know, and how do I do this? How do I do this? And they're holding on to their money, their resources.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta let that shit go, you know, so that you can buy a camera, so that you can buy another camera.
How do people understand the value or non-value of money? Say from, you know, for your standpoint, you have put on so many different hats. And like you've said, you've been in so many different businesses. For a lot of us who are a little bit younger, you know, coughing out that type of money, it hurts because that's all that we have. How do you get yourself into the type of discipline that it's okay to spend money, and like, if you don't have the community yet, if you don't have the following yet, and still know it's just like, I'm spending this money now because it's going to go somewhere. How do you convince yourself of that every single time?
You got to write it down. You got to write the vision, right? You got to write the plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. Yeah. So with a little bit of money, bro, let me tell you, I'm going to be a little bit more vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
I got fired 8 years ago. I had saved up maybe 10 grand or something like that. But money coming in, that 10 grand was gone, you know? At the time, my bills were, and because I wrote them down, all my bills were $4,004 a month, okay, to the penny. That's what I was paying. And no matter what, because I kept it on auto pay. I don't like people calling my house. Once I, you know, have business with you, it's auto pay.
Yeah,
period.
Smart.
There's no, Mr. Drisdom, you, no,
set it and forget it.
Yeah, set it and forget. I love that. And so I set it and forgot it.
Yeah.
Right. And still, while you know, life was happening, right, I went into $30,000 of debt. Okay. Now, and that's like after, you know, doing the gigs. I hurried up and put a band together because I had one more band that I was playing with, and that provided me enough money a month in order to, you know, at least knock out some of my bills or whatever. But I had $4,004 a month that was going out no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. So
you knew that was cash money that was going somewhere.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Well, what ended up happening is that maybe 2 or 3 months later, I lost that music job. I was playing for a band that I've been with for 6 years.
Okay.
And he fired me. Okay. And
who fired you? The manager?
Just the guy who's in charge of the band. Right. Fired me. And that meant that I had no more money coming in. Right. With a family of, you know, four kids and a wife, a family of 6. My parents were living with, they just moved here because they were like, you know what, we're going to move to Utah and kind of help out or whatever. They ended up giving me a car because I didn't have a car for like 8 months. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, repo after repo after repo after repo.
Man.
I lost 4 cars that I, you know, acquired, you know, and stuff like that. And because I lived in West Jordan at the time off of like Bacchus Highway, there was no buses to come through. I'm not ashamed to take a bus or nothing. There was no buses.
Yeah.
So I had to call my friends and say, hey man, can you, you know, he drive me over here and you know, stuff like that. And I got a whole family, you know, waiting to see what daddy's going to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Did they know? Did everyone in the family know, or did you kind of keep it close to your chest? Okay.
Absolutely,
so the whole family knew you're an open person when it comes to
I'm pretty
that.
open to most people.
Okay.
Maybe to a fault, even. And I'm learning how to not let my right hand know what my left hand is doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's called wisdom. And so that's what I'm working on. But anyway, so I was, you know, in this position where money wasn't coming as fast as it was going.
Yeah.
Right. And so I hurried up and put this band together called Changing Lanes. Okay. And thus it was born. And I was charging something like $1,000 or something like that for, you know, this band called Changing Lanes. Changing Lanes band on Instagram. Amen. Go
look
follow
for
that.
it. Yeah. Go follow them.
And it started off pretty small, maybe 10 people. Right? It's pretty small. That's not small at all. We were playing for about $30 to $100 every gig. And I mean, playing big parties and stuff like that. People, I'm sure, were like, we get all of this for this little bit of money?
Yeah.
But what I was thinking about is like, how do I pay my bills, right? And so we were playing like 20 gigs a month, okay?
Oh my goodness.
I'm not playing. You ask anybody that's been a part of my organization that long, 20 gigs a month, bro. Like I would count them like, we have 18 gigs a month this month, guys. Oh, we got 23 gigs this month, guys. You know what I mean? And we were rolling them out, bro. That's how we kind of like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? We just got it, right? Playing everywhere, all over the state of Utah. So after a year of doing that, everybody knew who you were, you know what I mean? Because we were just everywhere. And so the money, started getting a little bit better. Obviously I started charging a little bit more because I was making bands who were the same size, who were charging $5,000 or whatever, 10 grand or 15 or 30. You know what I mean? I was pissing them off,
Yeah.
And my mom told me, she said, son, can you afford to charge people $1,000, $2,000? I was like, yeah, I can do that. I can pay all my bills. She said, well, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you can be a blessing to people and charge this little bit of money, then do that, right? And so I just took that mindset. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep doing this for the next, year or whatever. And eventually people start getting tired of that, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta pay them a little bit more, right? And pay them a little bit more. So I start asking guys, hey, what's your bills? What are your bills? Because I'm paying mine now.
Yeah.
What are your bills? And that's kind of how things started growing and started expanding and stuff. And as our bills get bigger, because we start buying stuff and, get a car. Oh, you know what? CJ made it to where I can get a car, because I've been playing with this band for 2 years and now I'm able to afford a car.
Yeah.
People buying cars, people buying houses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff like that, putting down deposits on houses because of the extra money that they're making with my bands, and stuff like that. And so money, man, if you take it like this lady, Francine Flores, I was 18,
Okay.
working at Norm's restaurant. And she told me, she said, Kerry Jr., that's where CJ comes from.
Oh,
Kerry
okay.
Jr., if you line up all these dollars in the cash register, I was working at a restaurant as a cashier, as a host at 18, after my singing tour. She said, line up all the dollars facing the same way. Some of these people, they come in here and they throw the pennies in the dimes and they throw the dimes in the quarters and the whatever. No, take all of the stuff out and make sure that the pennies are where the pennies go, the dimes where the dimes go, the nickels where the nickels go, and so on and so on, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that. And she said, if you respect, and this is the lesson that I want to say, if you respect money, you'll always have it.
Okay. How fine of a line is it to respect money and disrespect money?
The young ladies, you're carrying a purse, right? You don't put your purse on the ground,
Okay.
Yeah. Like just stuff like that.
That's
like,
a great analogy too.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
And even if I'm in a restaurant and I see a lady's purse on the ground, I say, ma'am, would you mind if I pick that up and put it on your chair?
There you
Because
go.
that's your wealth on the ground.
Yeah.
And I physically and figuratively see that in the spiritual and in the natural. I see people's finances and stuff being laid out on the ground and not being able to have access to it because of how they treat the idea of money.
So you see the value regardless.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.